Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out New Cat Body by Jeremy Jones.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. The deal is done. He's in the building. He'll be practicing this week. Do I think he plays? I think it's a 75% chance he plays this weekend. How's everybody doing today? We got 9 people watching. Yes, Brent DeWitt, number 1 seed in the NFC. All roads go through Detroit. One pride, 100%. And the only reason why I say it's 75%, how many times have we seen a guy called up from the practice squad? We wanted him to play that week, and he didn't. He was a healthy scratch. We could see that type of thing with Zadarius Smith. And I'm saying just because he's learning a new defensive playbook, a new defensive scheme. Good afternoon. It's Smoking Dad. Good to see you. We won't talk politics. This is not a politics post or a politics show. We will talk football. I like football. Dwayne Keene, afternoon to all. Yes, sir. Politics is too polarizing. It makes family hate each other and everything else. So let's be family and enjoy talking football. And I'm going to go and look at the offensive and defensive matchups for each team. Passing and rushing stats. NFL teams' offensive rankings through week 9. Right now, the Lions are doing 369.6 yards per game total and 32 touchdowns so far. The Ravens have 34. The Buccaneers have 31. Who else has more? Let's see where the Texans are at 348.1 and 20. I'm stressing that fact. Nobody has more than the Ravens and Lions. The Chiefs' offensive touchdowns this year are 23, just for food for thought. Now let's look at passing offense. The Texans are 13th. The Lions are 15th. They are separated by exactly 4.7 yards. The Lions have 16 passing touchdowns. The Texans have 11. Bringing that up for a reason. Rushing offense. Ravens have 13 touchdowns. Eagles have 14 touchdowns. Commanders have 15 touchdowns. Um, Lions have 14 touchdowns. So we're tied for second right now. The Texans have 9 yardage per game. The Lions are 6th. The Texans are 11th. We are separated by almost 30 yards. It's 26 yards to be exact. Scoring offense. Number 1, Detroit Lions, 32.3. I was off by a point earlier. I thought it was 31.3. The Texans are 17th at 22.3. Red zone offense. Ravens are number 1. Lions are in the top 10. Texans are 15th. They are 7% exactly behind the Lions. I'll get to the chat in a minute. I'm looking on another screen, guys. Third down offense. Chiefs is number 1. Lions are 7th. The Texans are 16th. The difference, 41.6 on third down for the Lions. The Texans are 38.4. So you're looking at a 3.2% conversion rate difference. So that's the offensive breakdown. What do you guys think about that? All right. I don't know what the fans wanted him gone for. I don't get it. I think it was because uh, he was a liability in the run game. If you look, when they ran towards his side, they averaged about double the average yards per carry as they did on the other side with Miles Garrett, who's more of an all around defender. So let me get back to this chat. I want to get to everybody's comments. All right. How many snaps realistically for Z Boom? Um, I'm gonna say probably 20 because defense offenses are averaging about 50 to 70 snaps against us. I say maybe a third of the game he'll be in because he's more of a pass rush specialist than he is a run defender. I say that on purpose because we're going to see those other guys that we haven't wanted to see. We have to because they're better at run defense. Dwayne Keene, let's go Detroit Lions. One pride, Kings of the North Division Championship. All grit, never back down. 7-1. Make it 8-1. Kirby Joseph, number 31. Sonic, number 26. Jared Goff. Jared Goff, number 16. Let's go Lions. Let's see how many people jump on the bandwagon now. Most of all the NFL pundits have. We're getting JMO back. Yes, he was reinstated yesterday among all the trade news that got overlooked. I don't know, Moonscar Blade. I'm still trying to figure that one. All roads go through Ford Field for the Super Bowl. Welcome, Z Smith. Go Blue, Honolulu Blue. Good afternoon from Fred Peterson. And Brent says, good question, Jim. I laughed some years ago when some lady was proud to say her and her family was doing better because they were lion free. I think some underestimate our offense. A big win coming. Um, I'm going to write about it. Um, their O line is struggling right now. Is the biggest reason why they're having a fallback. How many times have we said when the O line struggles, the QB struggles? So while I still think CJ Stroud was the best quarterback out of that draft class, you know what I see? I see him struggling because the O line's not protecting him. He's been under way more pressure this year than he was last year, and that's due to the fact they're banged up. If that was a healthy O line, I think it would be better. But tackles play better with good guard play. Good guard play makes a center play better. They've had key injuries to both guards at some one point or another throughout the season, which is why their center and tackles on that side are struggling when it happens. We need to take advantage of that. We need to Do something we didn't do in the game we should have versus the Seahawks. Stunt our defensive tackle. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah, that's a sad day. When the boat hits the dry dock, you know that boating season is over. So now let's go look at defensive rank because this will tell everything that we need to see. And I'm doing it by reading it off of the way they rank according to the statistics. I'm not doing the whole bullshit stats, because cumulative stats at halfway through the season matter. And I'll be back to the chat in just a second, guys. But I have them pull up. Touchdowns allowed, total defense, still the Titans at the top. Texans are second, but they've allowed 24 touchdowns. The Lions, yardage wise, are 22nd, but have only allowed 15 total touchdowns this season. That can't be stressed enough. Scoring differential, we are plus 110. We're number one in the league. Passing defense, Titans, 155.8, but 12 touchdowns allowed. Texans, 167.4 and 19 passing touchdowns allowed. They need cornerback help. Bad. The Lions, while 29th in yardage, have only given up 6 passing touchdowns. I stress that because I've said the 4-2-5 is a bend don't break defense. You're going to give up yards between the 20s, but you're going to clamp down and stop teams in the red zone, which is exactly what we've been doing. Rushing defense. Ravens are number 1 with 75.7 yards against, 6 touchdowns allowed. Lions right now are 7th with only 8 touchdowns, and we are finally averaging, when you add in the QBs, 106.4 yards against. The Texans are 114.2 and 5 touchdowns allowed. They clamp down on the running game in the red zone a lot like we do. Most of the runs were like from outside the 20, where somebody broke containment and they struggle at tackling in the backfield. Whereas ours has just been we straight up got that. Oh yes. Thank you for mentioning it, JI. Good afternoon from Austin Hacker, Joe Lyons, from JI. Uh, I'm a Greg Landry old fan. We couldn't even get it done with Barry, but now we are on our way. 100%. I agree on that, Jim. This team is special. I know you did, Dwayne, and don't forget, you know, I had guys I like on the practice squads that we could get. Jadeveon Clowney has been in and out of that lineup. When he hits the practice squad, as long as he's not protected, that's somebody. Yes, the cracked ice helmet that you see right here on JB, it's just like that. We are doing that giveaway. JI has the first 5 tickets. He has to submit 5 numbers to me via text, 1 through 15, just randomly pick 5 numbers. And then the rest of the other 10 are up for grabs at $10 a ticket. We are giving that away on the Friday night show. Might do something similar with the Charles Harris. Do 15 at 5. I haven't decided that yet. Yeah, because the raffle is kind of like just a drawing. We're going to draw the number, and whoever gets that number wins, JI. So it's just like a raffle, but your name isn't on a ticket per se. You know what I'm saying? We're going to use a random number generator. We're going to run it multiple times, and however many times Leonard runs it, the last one is the winner. But just text it to me. You ain't got to. Don't put it in the chat because I'll lose it because the live chat doesn't say saved in the shows. Yes, and tonight, make your picks before 9 p.m. We have 5 people that put their picks in there already. In that community post, in that, text in your winners for every game on the NFL schedule this week. You must play at least 3 weeks. You must remain subscribed to the show during the contest. And I don't care what team you represent. Matt Henry put one in there. He's a Bears fan. Yeah, I hear you, Jim. Oh, yeah, 100% we can do prints. Would you like that on a t-shirt or a flag? All you got to do is message BD. 100% Fred Peterson, or message me which one you want. Let's go Lions. I picked a lot of road teams this week too. Doesn't mean you're going to lose bad. Um, it depends on how big a home dogs they are. Home dogs with a big point spread tend to cover. If it's less than 6, they have not been covering as much this year. So yes, and he can do the prints on Christmas ornaments too. Absolutely, Ji. By the way, have those shipped to you yet? I know he said he was getting them done that week. Yeah, it's a flat Christmas ornament, but yes, he could print on those. I'm quite sure he could do Christmas bulbs too. But oh, you haven't? They haven't been delivered yet, but you're not in a rush. Gotcha. No problem. So back to the defensive rankings for a minute. Scoring defense. Chargers are number 1 with 10 total touchdowns allowed. Steelers are number 2. Broncos are number 3. It's 12.6, then 14.9, 17.9, 18.4 for the Chiefs. Bears and Lions are tied at 18.5 points per game allowed. Vikings are 7th. At 13th, the Packers have allowed 21.6 and 23 touchdowns. The Texans have allowed 22.2 and 24 touchdowns against. So they may stop people in the red zone, but yes, Chargers are the number 1 scoring defense in the league right now. Picking against the Chargers is a bad thing to do right now. Their defense has been very stingy. Oh, 100%. I'm quite sure he could do something. I want a bobblehead. Well, the way I've gotten mine is going to the games. As you see, I got Amon Ra and an old Matthew Stafford. That's from when I went to the home opener in 2018 when we beat the Arizona Cardinals. This one was from when I went and watched us lose in 2022. Damn it, to the Seahawks with my dad. I got your numbers, Ji. Game of the week: Steelers versus Commanders. It might be. So Green Bay, Cleveland, Las Vegas, and Seattle are all on the bye this week. So we got 4 teams out. So that's 2 games not being played. No, 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 no. No, no, no. The Berry is going nowhere. I have a Golden Tate bobblehead. That's my only one. I'm working on getting me an Aiden Hutchinson one, and it's not really a bobblehead. It's a bobble leg because he's up in that stance, like when he celebrates doing the Michael Jackson dance, and the leg is what bobbles. That's kind of cool. Yeah, Pittsburgh at Washington. That one is going to be one hell of a game, and I think the addition of Marshawn Lattimore is going to help them greatly. They've been struggling. Yeah, Golden Tate was a good fit for the Lions. He came in at the end of Calvin Johnson's career, but Stafford was becoming a better quarterback because of Johnson retiring. Go look at the numbers. Please know, I will continue to beg for the Barry helmet. I can't help it. We'll talk to AI. That's all I got to say. With being out of work and working 2 days a week, my income is cut to 20% of what it was. So I hate to do it, but I might have to. That's cool, but isn't that a coincidence? Yeah, I mean, go look at Stafford's passing numbers. He became a better quarterback without Megatron here. He had some great years while Megatron was here, and that's mostly because Megatron had great years those years. But look how much better the whole wide receiver room looked without Calvin Johnson here. And I think a lot of that had to do with how Jim Caldwell called the game. Yeah, pinch nerves are no fun at all. It sucks big donkey dick, I'll tell you that. So there was one more red zone defense. Steelers and Chargers are 1 and 2. The Lions are fourth. The Texans are 30th. Uh oh. So wait, they're 30th? They're behind the Packers. Texans are not stingy in the red zone. I take that back. Yeah, I know. I know. I said it, but it does the bobble at the knee, not where the break is. So thank God for that. That'd be wrong. That'd be wrong. I can't believe I just said that. Yeah, I can. I'm an asshole. Oh, nope, not at all. Um, Money is what drives this country, and money is what drives the middle to lower class. And right now, the middle to lower class has no money extra whatsoever. And if you follow the money and if you follow stocks, it's not a surprise. It's funny that stocks took a 30-point increase today. Does anybody else find that as a coincidence? So, that being said, I am going to think about something. And Jay, when you get out of work, give me a call today. No, no, the injury reports don't come out closer to Friday. All this is practicey reports. Um, I don't believe in any of those reports saying that he'll take away Social Security. As a matter of fact, Social Security went up under Trump, and I'm not even trying to be political right now. I'm really not. I don't want to be political. No. That's what I just looked at. They give out a lot of passing touchdowns in the red zone. They do get stingier against the run in the red zone, but most teams are passing to tight ends and wide receivers in the end zone. They struggle in coverage down when the backs are against the wall with the defense. They give up touchdowns 69.6 in the percent of the time in the red zone, and that is 30th in the league. The Lions are in the top 10. They're in the 30th in red zone defense. That is a huge, huge disparity. Third down defense, Lions are number one at 29.9. Texans are ninth at 33.3. They're right behind the sixth place Packers. So they don't give up a lot of third downs. What they give up is a lot of bulk plays. Buffalo Bills and Detroit Lions are tied at number one with turnover differential. We've only given the ball up. We only had 5 giveaways so far, 4 in interceptions, which were the first couple of weeks, and 1 fumble. Uh, as far as getting them, we have 11 interceptions and 5 fumbles forced that we've recovered. Yeah, I have the feeling we might be doing the whites again. I can see 2 or 3 explosive from Ben Johnson. Gotcha. I heard the Texans have a lot of injuries. Are they all on offense? Mostly the O line. Good morning, Mr. Ballraker. No, I haven't heard him say that. Yeah, that's the thing, is I've heard a lot of news sources saying that he said that, but I have not seen one quote out of Trump's mouth that he said that. So I don't get it. There's a lot of false stuff that's been put out there, and the left doesn't get fact checked, and everybody else gets fact checked. Um, but let's not talk politics on a sports show. That's not my cup of tea. Um, Everybody has been wrong as of late as what they predicted will happen. So let's not talk politics. Let's talk sports. It's Lions versus Houston Texans on Sunday, and that's what's coming up. I'm getting ready to write my review. Um, we're going to tonight. We're going to review all the trades on the NFL Roundtable Talk. Our winners and losers. Hey, Harpazo. I don't want to argue in the chat. We're not going to argue about politics. Politics don't belong in the sports talk. And I'll leave it on that. But anybody that says they're going to move out of the country because of who's elected for president, I'm not going anywhere. I didn't go to Canada because of how many times I voted for somebody and they didn't get in. I haven't rubbed it in anyone's face at all about who wins or who loses, and I won't, because I have nothing to do with that other than my vote. My vote is one in millions, billions even. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and let people talk crap to each other. Amen, Moonscar. That's where I'm at. FTP. Fuck the politicians and their ads. You know what I'll be happy about? You know what I'm happy about? I will not be getting those phone calls anymore. Will you support us? Will you support us? And they all came from one side. I'm not going to talk about what side it was, but I'm glad they're done. Yep, we have Z Nation in Detroit Rock City. Amen. Yep, the battle red jerseys are what they're hearing with the battle red chrome helmets, and I do like that look. I'm sorry, I do like the look of the Texans. I just think our black is the best looking black in the league. Our black uniforms. The whites, I think they all look dope for every team. I don't care what anybody says. The whiteout jerseys are fire. I hear you. You know, so many people are polarized one way or the other. Um, so many people believes everything the one side of media says, and some people believe everything the other side of the media says. I'm a let's see what policies happen kind of guy. Oh, Leonard, you dickhead. Don't send me those type of chats while we're live. I can't laugh that hard. I wonder how many more times we wear the black. Well, we know we won't wear them on Thanksgiving, unfortunately. We wear those plain silver helmets with the plain blue jerseys with the plain gray pants and those god awful socks. Um, I wish we'd wear the blacks then. We're probably going to wear them versus the Packers on Thursday night football the week after Thanksgiving on December 5th. Um, I say probably when they flex that Minnesota game in week 18 to prime time, we'll wear them then like we did last year when we wore the grays. But it is what it is. I could see this going one of two ways, depending on, and it really depends on the defense. If we're able to get more pressure, and Z Smith is a reason for it, it's because our interior D line is eating up their O line, and we're getting to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud has not been the same quarterback, and like I said, he's been under pressure a shit ton, and so that bodes well for our defense. So that being said, um, Mixon is a good runner. Don't get it wrong. But yet we have not to give up 100 yards rushing to any running back in the last two seasons since the Ravens game. I want to reiterate that. Not ace. Do you think you hit him high? When the bowstring is let go of the deer, he hears it and squats. Does that make sense? It really depends. A lot of times they don't hear it at all. It depends on how close you are and how high up in the tree stand you are. They do have directional ears. It's what the noises you make prior to release that alerts the deer. Normally, it's because they're struck or they heard something strike near them, is why they squat. It's a knee jerk reaction because they don't really jump up until they're running. That's just my opinion on it. I personally like it when you go through both lungs and they just sort of drop within 20 feet. It's kind of cool to see. But the Cleveland Browns fans did not like Zadarius Smith and run defense, is why they wanted him gone. The reason why the owner didn't trust this front office is because technically we kind of fleeced them. They should have been getting a third or fourth rounder. You remember, dogs lose trails in water. A swamp is mostly water. Aw, value on linebacker and wide receiver was down this cycle, other than Dallas overpaying for Mingo. Yeah, we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm gonna do my draft winners and losers. But when you get the out of 72 wide receivers with more than 50 receptions in the league, and you get the guy that's 72nd over the last two season and a half, I say if you gave anything more than a seventh rounder or a UDFA player from the practice squad for them, you lost that trade. By that value, we probably could have got a first rounder from Jerry if we'd have traded him James Houston. Shit. So hopefully Pascal's playing this week because that'll actually make Zadarius Smith better too. Um, Pascal slowly has been showing that he's a little bit better at pass rush than he used to be. He's not getting home, he's not getting the sacks, but he is getting pressures. So if he's creating havoc on the other side of the O line, that'll free up somebody like Smith to see some one on ones as well. Um, Levi Almuzariki's been coming into his own, but if you mix him in with Reader and Aleem, he can crush it from the inside now if we got better people playing on the outside in those passing situations. This should be the week we see Broderick Martin. He was activated in a healthy scratch. So let's see Broderick Martin get some snaps at defensive tackle. I want to see him in this new frame and how he does out there on the field. Mikai Wingo is Mikai Wingo. He's a feast or famine. Yes, that's what I was thinking, JB. We need JP. But I still would like from Minnesota's practice squad, I would rather take Andre Carter. He normally is on the left tackle side. He's our left defensive end because Hutchinson was the right defensive end. That's where Levi Amuzariki had been starting, and El Kadim Muhammad started the one game. Uh, so right defensive end, I think it's going to be Zadarius Smith on him. Dallas did get a seventh back in that trade. Yeah, it's still a fleece job. I'm sorry, you get a seventh and Wingo for a fourth rounder. Wingo didn't deserve to be traded for a UDFA player. They had a chance to dump Trey Lance there. So I'm thinking we're averaging 32 points a game. They're averaging 23. Um their red zone defense is porous, especially in the passing game. Goff is cerebral and eats up those zone defenses. This could be a blowout game, guys, and I'm not saying it will be, but it could be. But at the same time, if they get their guards back healthy and can actually protect CJ Stroud, it'll be a good game. So maybe the Panthers are smarter than they thought. Dan Morgan is. I'm sorry, but Dan Morgan told Tepper to shut the hell up and let him run the team. So this was a Dan Morgan stamp trade, the first trade he's made like this, and it's a win. I got the Panthers winning that trade, Sarah, 100%. They got better by subtraction. Sarah the Viking Queen. Yes, she is. Uh the It's not on the Huddle community page. It's on my personal YouTube page. Um you are you commenting through kneecap biting or are you commenting through Huddle Sports, Sarah? Because I'm not looking at the YouTube right now. Lions are such a dirty team. Huddle Sports. Yeah, my contest is on the kneecap biting page for me, my personal Lions podcast page. Let me put the link in the chat for you. And that's where the contest is. Eh, And when you go and look at my channel after you subscribe, go all the way over to the right where it shows community, and that's where the posts are. And the custom jersey is for a fan of every team. Thank you, Sarah. And I don't care what team you are. Um, my NFL show is what this is trying to promote. And as long as you're making your weekly picks and you do it at least 3 out of the 4 times, thank you, Sarah. Much love to the Viking Queen. So, that being said, whoever has the winning total at the end of December after these few weeks of play, 4 weeks of play, 5 weeks of play, whatever we got for that weekend, on December 1st, the person with the most wins gets a custom jersey to order. Whatever you want, whatever team you want. I understand, and I let those comments go because that's their opinion. What's funny is no matter what team you follow, your opinion is wrong to 75% of that division's fan base because they're your rival. That's why we're the home of the bad takes. Huddle Sports Network, home of the bad takes. I said the win window for the Lions, they could win as few as 10 and as many as 13. And it looks like we're trending towards that 13 right now. I said the Vikings were the ones that I had no clue after JJ McCarthy got hurt and they're because we didn't know how the QB play would be. We didn't know how we knew the defense was good under Flores. But I said they could be a 5-win team or they could be a 10-win team. You just don't know. And it's all because Darnold over his career has been inconsistent as a starter. And yet he's been inconsistent this year and they've only lost 2 games. So looking at it from that point of view, that 10 wins isn't out of the question for them. I said the Bears, if they had a good O line, they could win probably 9, 10 games, but they don't. They'll be lucky to win 5 at the rate it's going. Pardon me. Coffee tasted good this morning. Woo. I said the Packers were going to win no less than 8 and as many as 11. I said that coming into the season. Bears are going to win about 8. Oh, 100% Harpazo. I'm tired of being called the Motor City Kitties. These kitties come with teeth now. They're grown. And we're still one of the younger teams in the league, which means it should only get better. I call them the poverty kitties. Like, call it whatever you want, Dan Leonard. The record speaks for yourself. To sit here and say that the Lions are not one of the best teams in football. I feel bad for Caleb Flores. They're going to blitz him all day. I know. So I'll do a Lombardi pour, not talent pour. Agreed. Nobody said we were dirty all when we were losing all those years. Yeah, for sure, JB. We're only getting started. I mean, the NFC North has been ran by whoever wins the division, usually for almost 3 years. And you can go back and look. We talked about this, and it's right. It's been Packers and Minnesota at the top 3 years in a row every time. The Bears won it and then was up there in second or first or second place the other 2 years. Their problem is they can't beat the Packers. Until they can start beating the Packers, the Bears are going to be irrelevant. They have to beat the Packers. Yeah, they only call us dirty when we're winning, and I'm fine with that. Let that be their opinion. But our coach told you day one what the identity of this team was. That was one player. The team wasn't called dirty. There's a big difference there, Leonard. The team was not called dirty then. Last year and this year, we got fans of the other fan bases are calling us the dirtiest team in the division. I 100% love it because you're not called dirty unless you're winning. Yep, I agree, Sarah. They need an O line. They need better coaching. They need Shane Waldron out of there. I think he's awful. Watching the offensive play calling for him, it it's redonkulous. Tell me, yeah, going from last year to this year, did anybody think the Lions would be atop the turnover differential at midseason? Now that the trades are done, week 9 is done. 8 games in. Most teams have 8, some have 9. The Bears have never had a QB that's thrown for 4,000 yards. Their closest was Eric Kramer, which they signed after we released him. He got 3,865 yards. No, that's a dirty player, Fred. It's the same thing. Paris Johnson is the offensive version of Indomitian Sue right now. He's been trying to do it to multiple people too. But about Kyler Murray and what he did, it ended up costing Derek Browns the season. Nobody talks about that. That's a dirty team. Kyler running and getting ready to be tackled instead of sliding, he dove at Derek Barnes' knee, but nobody said anything about that. 2 plays later, he's out for the season. But I will say, if Barnes could have stayed healthy, we wouldn't have seen Trevor Nowaski on the field. And I think that was as much as it's bad for Derek Barnes that he got injured, it was great for Trevor Nowaski to get some snaps. Because I've said ever since last year, prior to the season, that I wish this kid would get on the field because he's a difference maker. Oh, I know. I agree with Sarah. They should keep their coaching, but I think Waldron has to go. I think they've kept the same O line coach while this O line has been shitty the entire time between Nagy and Flus. That's another guy that needs to go. Can't develop them, can't pick them. Better get a better coach then, right? It is that time of the day when we do the review of the division. In the bottom at 4-4, it's Fuck the Bears. In third place, it's FTP with their 6-3 record. They're going to stay right where they're at. Fuck the Packers. In second place, at 6-2, who skull fucked the Rams. It's the Vikings. And in first place, and still Kings of the North with a 7-1 record. Let's make it 8-1. The mighty, mighty Lions. Yes, he can. This is something Von Doom has printed for my shirt. If he can do that, he can do print. I'm quite sure he could do a film quality print for you on like a matte finish so it looks good with a signature. I'll talk to Von Doom here in a second. I'm going to call him, Fred. And last but not least, I have to give homage to the sponsor that pays me for their commercial spot. It's Brandon Service at the corner of South Grand Travis and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. Where? In Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. Used tires starting at $45 and up, depending on size and condition. If you need new tires, please call 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself on Saturday. We will get you your quote. They will be business delivered within 1 to 2 business days. Mention this ad, and they'll give you a little discount on single purchases. But if you're buying a set, they will give you $10 off. LOL, no, Fred, he can't. Yes, he can. I knew he could. I'm going to give you a call in a little bit, Leonard. But as I always say, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you to the Viking Queen, Sarah, for joining Kneecap Biters Network. Peace out, people.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Biters by Jeremy.